New Zealand, interesting places in the South Island. This overview is prepared for those planning a road trip on the South Island of New Zealand. In each region, we have tried to highlight the best it has to offer and complement it with photos to assist you in planning your journey itinerary. Route planning, South Island. You might be wondering how to plan your route on the South Island. There are plenty of options, but we find it best to head south, first along the east coast and then back along the west coast. The most beautiful areas are around lakes Tekapo and Pukaki, Fiordland National Park around Milford Sound, and the surroundings of Queenstown and Wanaka. On the contrary, on the east coast around Christchurch and on the south around Dunedin and Invercargill, it's advisable not to linger too much. 1. Lake Tekapo. Lake Tekapo absolutely enchanted us. It has an incredibly beautiful turquoise color, acquired from the surrounding glaciers. Its beauty is enhanced by the mountains that line the lake in the background. Be sure not to miss the Church of the Good Shepherd, located on the lake's shore, practically in the center of the town. You can also enjoy stunning views from the observatory on Mount John. The Lake Tekapo area is one of the darkest places in New Zealand, allowing you to see a beautiful night sky, and if you're lucky, you might even catch a glimpse of the aurora. The Mount John Walkway leads to the observatory and around the lake, a short trek that takes about 2 hours. We highly recommend watching the sunset from this trek. The views are breathtaking and, for us, it was undoubtedly one of the most beautiful places in New Zealand, along with the Mt. Cook area. Tip: if you want to experience the blooming lupin, plan your visit to the South Island in December. 2. Mount Cook Village and Lake Pukaki. Lake Pukaki is perhaps even more beautiful than Tekapo. Thanks to the presence of glaciers, it has a vivid turquoise color, even when overcast. You won't have any trouble spending an entire day photographing around the lake. We recommend spending the night at the Freedom Campsite, Lake Pukaki Reserve. Waking up to a more beautiful view is hard to imagine. On the way to Mt. Cook Village, stop by the Mt. Cook Alpine Center Visitor Center, which offers a magnificent view. Perhaps the most famous lookout is Peter's Lookout, where on a clear day, you can take great photos with Mt. Cook, the highest peak in New Zealand, and the blue Lake Pukaki in the foreground. The entire journey to Mount Cook Village offers beautiful views of the mountain range, dominated by the South Island's highest peak. 3. Treks around Mount Cook Village. Hooker Valley Track, short and easy, yet one of the most beautiful. The trek leads through the valley across several suspension bridges along Mueller Lake to Hooker Lake, where you have a view of Mt. Cook. It takes 2 to 3 hours to complete. Total distance is 10 kilometers. Blue Lakes and Tasman Glacier Walk, another short but beautiful walk that takes about an hour with photography included. Total distance is 2.6 kilometers. There's a beautiful view of the Tasman Glacier, with floating icebergs, and a view of the opposite side into the valley. 4. Omarama and Benmore, south of Lake Pukaki. On the way from Lake Pukaki towards Wanaka and Queenstown, you can make a stop for another short trek with views of a turquoise lake. Benmore Peninsula Track is a 4 kilometers loop that takes about 1.5 hours. Another interesting stop is the Clay Cliffs resembling a small Bryce Canyon in the USA. The road to the cliffs is private, and there's a $5 fee for entry. 5. Dunedin and surroundings. Near Duntroon, another geological curiosity is Elephant Rocks, a kind of stone town where sheep graze among its boulders. The Chronicles of Narnia was filmed here, and the place is truly magical. Another huge geological attraction and, among other things, a place to enjoy photography, is Moeraki Boulders, giant round stones on the beach that appear as if glued together with resin. Truly interesting formations. 6. South Coast and Invercargill area. On the way along the coast, you can make the journey more enjoyable with various stops along beaches, lighthouses, cliffs, and waterfalls. The absolute top is Nugget Point Lighthouse. The sunset here can be absolutely perfect. Just before the lighthouse, you can try your luck and visit Roaring Bay, where there is a colony of penguins. Another significant attraction is Jack's Blowhole, a chasm with a cave where water penetrated deep into the interior. This is definitely an interesting stop. 7. Queenstown and surroundings. In the city, it's worth strolling through the harbor, its center, and the botanical garden. In the harbor, you'll find food and souvenir stalls on nice days. The area around the pier has a lovely atmosphere in the evening. You'll especially appreciate the botanical garden in spring. The nearest nice treks directly from the city are on Queenstown Hill and Tiki Track to the upper station of the Skyline Gondola. Among the nice viewpoints in the area, we can definitely include the Remarkables Lookout Point, which you can reach by car and is roughly halfway to the Remarkables Ski Resort. 8. Wanaka and Hawea are tiny towns by the lakes of the same names. There are a few nice treks in the area. An interesting fact is that in Wanaka, the city council decided to increase the region's popularity, so they invited influencers, created an Instagram trail, and turned one tree into Wanaka sensation. There's usually a long line for a photo at Roy's Peak. 9. West Coast, Fox Glacier, Franz Josef, and Hokitika on the way from Wanaka northward. Make a short stop at Blue Pools, if the river has a turquoise color after rain. Along the way, you can also make stops at several waterfalls, the largest of which is called Roaring Billy. If you have enough time, you can take a walk to Monroe Beach. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to see penguins. Some may want to embark on the 2-day Copeland Track. There are natural hot springs for bathing near the hut. The hut must be reserved in advance. Now we are getting into the glacier region. Heli hikes are popular here, a helicopter trip to the glacier to explore crevasses and caves with a guide. Unfortunately, prices are high, from $400 and up.